Hello everybody. You probably noticed the thing that's going on in the news and on social media now as well about some of ex-Ballet students suing their schools for their eating issues. Now, eating issues and eating disorders in the ballet world are a very complex issue. And of course, I cannot comment on the specifics of these cases because I wasn't there. None of us were there. What I want to say is that it is very, very difficult not to get an eating disorder when you're a ballet student. At least back in the days when I trained in the 80s and early 90s. That's how old I am, that's right. And of course, it changed since. And I was under the impression that it was actually quite advanced dealing with in the Royal Ballet School and also in the Royal Ballet. However, it is really difficult to not get an eating disorder. And I'll tell you why I think that is so. First, ballet attracts people with certain personalities, and one of them is perfectionism. If you want to be perfect in ballet, you want to always go to the extreme. And in my case was I wanted to be the best in class, and I also wanted to be the slimmest or the thinnest. And this is already a perfect setup to create an eating disorder. I would also say if I had not gone to ballet school, I very likely would have developed an eating issue or any other, maybe even worse, problems growing up. Because having an eating issue is a measure of taking control over something you can have control over. You cannot have control over how the teacher is treating you, how you are being cast, how your technique is developing compared to other people. It's the stress, the competitive nature of ballet training paired with people with perfectionist personality traits. Another thing is, if you grow up going through puberty in a leotard in front of a mirror, and even as a young adult in a dance company, it is very, very difficult to accept the changes your body is going through because you have this one perceived image of how a ballerina should look like, and you're also identified with your body, looking at it, checking it for flaws in a technical way, but that goes also then through physical appearance. When you're 12 years old, 13, 14, 15, 16, it's a very difficult age as it is. Wearing a leotard every day or surrounded by mirrors, it is not an easy task. The other thing is, of course, the psychological impact. Back then, our teachers were not at all trained in psychological and mental health. So we've been body shamed. But what's much more telling, I think, than body shaming, which is a horrible thing, is getting praise when you lost weight. You're getting praise from your students, or you sense some jealousy, so it makes you even wanting more of it, because it's a competitive environment. When your teacher praises you for looking slim and having lost weight, and even your parents. And your parents can also make negative comments on your figure because they also have an image in their mind, at least back then in the 80s and 90s. What else is an issue? Of course, when you do pas de deux and you need to be lifted by boys. And the boys are also going through puberty, and some are very late, so they cannot lift very much because their muscles haven't developed yet. So you're very self-conscious. And of course, men and boys also have eating disorders. Nowadays, maybe more in the anorexic way than back then, but they suffer from not being muscular enough or strong enough or tall enough. But I don't know very much about that. What else is an issue? What aggravates the eating disorder? It's just simple stress. And it's today so many people outside the ballet world or the athletic world where people have eating disorders just because of the way food is advertised, the fashion magazines. So teachers, although they can have a positive as well as negative impact, it is also the personality and the issues young adults and teenagers have. And so whether they develop them within a ballet school, which is of course a perfect setting, or outside, it is probably very likely that people who have eating disorders in ballet school will also have issues outside ballet school. Now, my eating disorder was just simply don't eat, because I could not throw up. I tried that, so I was safe from bulimia. I didn't eat, and you wonder, people say, but you must be strong to be able to do that shadow you have. but not eating can give you a high, an adrenaline high. So you have a lot of energy from not eating, from congratulating yourself for not having eaten the entire day. And I remember one episode, I came to a rehearsal, we were 15, 16, 17, that started at 6 p.m. And I said, oh, I'm hungry. That was just an expression I used to say without any further thought. And someone offered me a sports bar or something. And I was so confused because saying that I'm hungry did not imply for me at all that I needed or wanted to eat. It was just a fact, a state to be in, hungry all the time. So you get used to that. Other girls dealt with it by smoking and drinking coffee. Black coffee, that was the dancer's diet. And that started when you're 14 and it went through professional companies. Now, I couldn't smoke and I didn't drink coffee. So I did it without any of the suppressants. I did it with pure willpower. And nobody, me included, ever thought that I would ever have a figure problem because I was totally underweight and everyone loved it, me included. And when I came to the company, and all my structure was lost, and the willpower, as willpower has it, cannot last forever, but only for a certain amount of time. My willpower left me and I started binging. That went into circles with not eating at all, binging, not eating at all, binging. It was for my metabolic health, for my mental health. It was an absolute nightmare. And what it does, it isolates you because you live in shame all the time. When you eat, you're ashamed. When you don't eat, you can't socialize. You just want to be on your own and save your energy. I was trying to lose weight again after having binged all summer. And then, of course, I did not have energy. So I always hoped to have my rehearsals in the morning because my idea back then was not to eat after 3 p.m. Nowadays, when we all hear about the greatness and the health benefits of intermittent fasting and fasting as such, I did try fasting because I was persuaded by the energy you will get when you fast. Well, it doesn't work for me. With an eating disorder history, I cannot fast. My history is strong in terms of eating disorder, and it is under control now. And I believe it is like being an alcoholic. You have it, you always are an alcoholic, but you either have it under control or you don't. So nowadays I can say my eating disorder is under control. However, when I start a diet or want to follow the trend of intermittent fasting or doing a 3-day fast, it plays havoc with my mental health. And it just does not work. I become completely lethargic and I wait for the energy to rush through me, and it just doesn't happen. So any kind of fasting, any kind of diet is not good for me. I had to learn to enjoy food, but to be able to eat in moderation. It was a huge challenge because extremes are easy. To either not eat at all or eat until you feel like you fill a bucket without a bottom. You know you will never be satisfied no matter how much you eat. It just falls through. And it's not about you don't have love. Yes, you feel isolated, you feel alone, you feel stressed, you feel tension, and food is a state changer. It changes the state of your mind. If you overeat, it can calm you down. It can reduce the tension you have. So it's a very effective tool of dealing with things. And not eating at all is also a very effective tool. As I said earlier, it gives you the illusion of having control over one part in your life. And it's very difficult for people who can see you to help you, who want to help, but the want of wanting to get help needs to come from the person who's having the eating disorder. There's no outside that can make you go and seek help. Yes, you can get support and little nudges, but I believe it really has to come from the person. I've been going on and on and on. Maybe it didn't make much sense all over, but perhaps it gives you one or the other a little nugget to think about it and perhaps getting an idea about the complexity of eating disorders. And now as a hypnotherapist, also as well as a ballet teacher for adult students, I'm very happy that I have many tools that I can help people who have problems with eating in any direction, that I can help them. If you want to have a chat about that, please do not hesitate to contact me and we can discuss whether I'd be able to help you. If you have any other questions, please do let me know also. Bye for now.